They refused to treat her wounds. Every one of them walked past, shaking their heads, muttering about rules, about liability, about her not being their responsibility. She lay there, bloodied and weak, on the cold metal floor, and realized the one they left to die was not just any soldier. She was a Navy SEAL. Asterisk, what city are you watching from today? If this story resonated with you, hit subscribe for more real stories about extraordinary people. Her name was Lieutenant Riley Carter. She had spent years proving herself in the most grueling environments the military could offer. Yet here, behind the barracks after a training accident, she was invisible. She wasn't in uniform. Her insignia was gone. To them, she was just another injured recruit, not someone who had survived situations most soldiers could only read about. Riley had been running drills with her team when the explosion happened. A misfired grenade, something that should have been routine, had thrown her across the training ground. Her leg was broken, and her side had taken a brutal impact. Pain coursed through her body in sharp, burning waves, but she stayed conscious. Every second counted, and every second she stayed still. She calculated her next move. The others arrived shortly after the blast. She could see the panic in their eyes, the uncertainty. Instead of helping, they hesitated. "We can't touch her. It's too risky," one of them said. "Call the medics," another added. But the medics were delayed. Their excuses were endless. Riley's breast became shallow. Her body screamed for attention, for care. And still, they refused. Her mind raced. She could feel her training kicking in. The years of Navy SEAL conditioning were not about brute strength alone. They were about patience, about observation, about surviving when everyone else counted you out. She focused on what she could control. She wiggled her fingers. She adjusted her breathing. She stayed alive. Hours passed. The sun dipped low. Her team had evacuated the area, leaving her behind. They assumed she was helpless. They assumed she would succumb to her injuries. And then she moved. Inch by inch, with every ounce of strength she could muster, Riley dragged herself toward a supply shed. She grabbed the first aid kit, her hands trembling but steady enough to apply tourniquets, wrap her wounds, and stabilize herself by the time they realized she was missing. She was upright, walking, using a makeshift crutch. Their expressions froze when she appeared in the doorway. The same people who had refused to touch her now stared wide-eyed as the truth became undeniable. Riley didn't need saving because she was a survivor, a warrior, one of the Navy's most elite, hidden beneath a uniform they couldn't recognize. Her revelation was simple, yet devastating in its clarity. She looked at each of them, her gaze steady, her voice calm. "I don't need your help. I never did." The shame on their faces was immediate. Their hesitation, their doubt, their mockery, they had underestimated her entirely. And in that moment, Riley had not only survived, she had taught them a lesson about respect, about courage, and about the cost of assumptions. From that day forward, no one doubted her capability again. They remembered the one they left for dead, the Navy SEAL who refused to be beaten by circumstance or by disbelief. Riley carried herself differently after that. She didn't brag about her rank, but she didn't hide it either. Her actions spoke louder than any title. She knew her strength wasn't in the recognition of others. It was in the unyielding commitment to survive, to fight, to rise, no matter who doubted her. What this story leaves behind is more than all. It leaves a reminder that strength is often invisible until tested. That courage is quiet, patient, and relentless. And that underestimating someone based on appearances, assumptions, or rank can be a grave mistake. Sometimes the most dangerous and unstoppable force is the one no one expects. What did this story make you feel? Where are you watching from? Subscribe to Soul Relief Stories for more real stories that heal the heart.